morning, students. I hope you guys are doing fine. Again, it's like a ritual. It's like this train thing that we always do, and that is before we begin, we have to do an audio check. So, can anybody help me very quickly with writing in the chat box if I'm visible and audible both, of course, and that the internet is in place? Because if either of the things are not there, आज के session में मजा नहीं आएगा. And आज का again, like one of my personal favorites. So it is a really entertaining session. So I'm just going to go check in the chat box and come back. And if in the meantime you know what I'm asking, please do the honors and write it in the chat box very quickly. Okay, so I think we will have to wait for a confirmation. Anybody who can just let me know in the chat box, please, as to whether I am audible or not, because I need that sanction. I need to have that heads up to myself to be able to check it. So the audibility angle, anybody? I mean, you guys, a couple of you guys are already in the stream. So if you can just write in the chat box, maybe a thumbs up or anything, I think that's going to be great for me to begin with. I will see. Good evening, ma'am. Okay, am I audible? Perfect. Okay, now that I am audible, let us begin. Like I said, so all this while, what we've been doing is we've been doing a lot of, academic series, and we've been doing a lot of series wherein I know that the stress is real, but we have not really addressed the stress element of it. So why I like this episode particularly is because here we are going to take a U-turn. So we're going to deroot from all things academic and actually get on to doing some sort of stress busting. So by now you all must be in such dilemmas. Your minds must be so clogged thinking mocks कैसे करने हैं, कौन से source से पढ़ना है, classes कैसे करनी है, schedule कैसे बनाना है, because you're almost into the fine tuning of it. But वो जो एकदम वो pre-preparation jitters होते हैं ना, that is the stage you are in. And the stage is very important because this can actually be the make or break. So here is when things can go all good, or from here is where things can actually go south. So keeping a mental semblance, keeping a mental well-being is very, very important. And this is why I come here. I have come to tell you some very cool, very, very uber cool and very prosperous techniques. And when I say prosperous, I mean that if you actually employ it, आप इसको use करना चालू करोगे तो आपको सच में दिखेगा that they give remarkable results. These are the Japanese techniques. Now, there's a reason why Japanese are always called the most productive people. Why are they always in the front line? Because they know their game. They know how to, they know how to put together an act. And they make sure that their work life and their personal life and everything isn't segregated. They're compartmentalized, and no two things merge with each other. And that's how we should be. We should not let the emotions take the best of us, or we should not let the practicality take the best of us. We need to have the perfect mixture, right? That is what is going to be the best recipe for preparation. So today what we're going to do is we're going to take it from, of course, our forefathers that ways, understand this Japanese legacy of success, and find the ways in which we can actually unwind and make sure that it is the kind of technique that is going to help us give a breather, which is very important when it comes to CLAT preparation. Let's begin. So 7 Japanese secrets to chill your prep game. So I know by now इतने ज़्यादा आप anxious हो रहे होगे कि आपको समझ में नहीं आ रहा होगा क्या. तो आज हम लोग chill बातें करेंगे. आज हम लोग अपने tempo को बहुत ज़्यादा loosen, easy रखेंगे. So I know because burnout is not a vibe, but balance is. The better you balance, the moment you maintain an equilibrium, all things with equal proportion, that is cool. That is what is, a smart move. I mean, panic karna, burnout karna, stress mein drown ho jana, uncool. That's not what we are here for. So now let's go. Stressed, burnout, you feel like prep की train derail हो गई है, ऐसा लग रहा है कि पता नहीं क्या होने वाला है. So let's take a pause today, but Japanese style, because we are of course going to talk about the Japanese vibe that we have. So what we study today, or what you're going to learn today, are these 7 low-key legendary life techniques जो सिर्फ declutter नहीं करेगी आपके mind को. It will help put you in the right track as well. So let's get the Zen prep warrior mode on. And let's take a brief and a very quick look at the samurai edition of it. Beginning with the first, बहुत popular है, बहुत लोगों ने सुना होगा. The first technique that we have is called Kaizen. So Kaizen is actually called the power of tiny balls. कितनी बार आप लोग ने मेरे से ही mock analysis में या बहुत सारी videos में सुना होगा, wherein I say small improvement daily, big results eventually. When you do something right, even if it is minuscule, कितना भी miniature हो, celebrate it because you've learned something. One small success eventually will get together the jigsaw of the bigger picture of success. So Kaizen simply says, छोटे-छोटे improvements रोज करो, ultimately big results eventually आना चालू हो जाएंगे. So every day, make one thing about you, that is 1% अपने आप को better कर लो. Right? It could be your reading speed, it could be your vocab, it could be your sleep cycle, whatever it is. And ultimately you will see how towards the last lap of your preparation, you would be a very different person of what you were 6 months before, right? So, like I said, the prep hack is going to be choose one mini thing to improve each day, track it, celebrate it, repeat it. Give yourself an ice cream treat tonight if you think that you've been able to finish reading in the stipulated time that you had, or anything for that matter. Celebrate karo, reward karo, because there is nothing more better than reward and, of course, celebration. The next technique that we have is called Pomodoro. So Pomodoro basically, it's in the slang of it said, study like a tomato. So what do? You basically work in short sprints and rest like royalty. So here we don't study for 3 hours or 5 hours, or we don't sink into the academics. छोटे छोटे इंटरवल्स में पढ़ते हैं और उसी में ब्रेक लेते हैं. So for example, आप 25 मिनट पढ़ो, 5 मिनट का ब्रेक लो. 5 मिनट इनफ है, 10 मिनट्स का ब्रेक लो, इनफ है, एंड देन कम बैक टू इट. यू वुडंट रियलाइज कि आपने 2-2.5 घंटे पढ़ लिया, 15-20 मिनट का ब्रेक भी हो गया, एंड सब कुछ बहुत अच्छे से समझ में आ गया. क्योंकि सबके साथ ये होता होगा, राइट? पढ़ते पढ़ते देयर कम अ टाइम वेरिन अब आपके दिमाग में चढ़ना बंद हो जाती है चीजें. सो दिस इज हाउ यू कैन कॉम्बैट दैट. सो द क्लासिक पोमोडोरो मेथड boosts focus, saves you from frying your brain. This is one of the best techniques to make sure concentration stays aligned. So use Pomodoro for reading tough RCs or revision sessions. 4 Pomodoro sessions are what you can do. 2 hours of legit hustle. 30 मिनट के में 25 मिनट 5 मिनट 25 मिनट 5 मिनट 4 सेशंस ऐसे हो जाएंगे, एंड आपको बाद में पता चलेगा कितना ज्यादा प्रोडक्टिव रहा है ये सेशन. Next, it's called the 5S method. It's called from declutter to de-stress. What are the 5S? Sort. First you sort your problem. You set in order. Align करो. देखो क्या है. Prioritize करो. Shine. Standardize and sustain. So you find out what your problem is. You make sure that there is an order that you've maintained. You're able to recognize whatever it is and get better with that technique. You're ultimately going to shine. Once that is done, make that a standard habit कि अब से मुझे इसको ऐसे ही करना है, and ultimately sustain. Make sure that you're able to do it regularly. That is, you've made it a habit. That's how the sustainability will come in. So it's how Japanese workplaces stay productive. This is how productive रहते हैं. And guess what? It works for your study desk too. So this is how they tend to make sure that productivity, they don't lose sight of their aim. So clean your desk every Sunday. A clear space is equal to a clear mind and faster thinking. So declutter करो कोई भी एक चीज. RC हो, कोई section हो, तुम्हारा study table हो, तुम्हारा room हो, whatever it is. It really helps you get your focus back. Next, it's called Shisa Kanko, which is point and call. The technique says, speak it, do it, stay alert. When you see that there is a mistake, introspect, talk to yourself. This is what I was doing wrong. Make sure somebody points it out. बोलते हैं ना, जब कोई गलती बताता है तो बहुत चुभती है. खुद से में भी बार बार नजरअंदाज हो रहा है, but then the moment somebody points it, it clicks and it hits very, very differently. So that is what used in Japanese trains basically to avoid errors. You literally point and say what you're about to do. So make sure that you have your eye on the game. You set your eyeballs on it and you claim it. So you just think that मेरे को आज 5 RCs करने and announce it. मैं आज 5 RC करूंगा. Then go ahead with it. Right? So say aloud, I'm solving CR. Timer on, focus mode on. It trains your brain. So your brain is a muscle. The more you train your brain, the better, and that is exactly what it will begin to learn from. The next is called Nemawashi. So Nemawashi is quiet preparation before big moves. So you don't start beating the drum and you don't start, making a ballyhoo about it in the initial get-go itself. You're first going to stay shush. You're going to make sure that you have come to a position wherein now you can announce it to the world as to what is it that you have for them to offer. So prepare the soil before planting the seed. You have to make sure that your foundation has been laid out. Before a big decision, Japanese people involve everyone gently, slowly building consensus. So pehle सिर्फ close knit में, and then is when you can start making the noise. So don't jump into full prep chaos. Plan, test, and then commit. So first plan it, test कि अच्छा ये हो पा रहा है कि नहीं. So don't call up your mom and just say कि मम्मी अगले मॉक में मेरा 90 पक्का. No. Realistically, first think how much do you think it is going to be, and then slowly. Or then maybe, just tell it to your mom. Don't make very big promises because, societal pressure then hits onto you very, very differently. Next, the sixth is called Shoshin. Shoshin ka matlab hota hai beginner's mind. So approach everything like you are learning for the very first time. If you think you are a pro and that you already know, then why are you even here? You have to make sure that if you've done something wrong, don't begin by thinking, "Arey, main thodi aisi galti kar sakta." You've done it. So always have that learning attitude to yourself. So even pros in Japan embrace a beginner's mindset, full of curiosity, openness, and zero ego. So there is no adamancy कि ये ऐसे क्यों है वो वैसे क्यों है. You are there to learn. So don't fear basic doubts. Doubts सबके पास होते हैं और आने चाहिए. Doubts का मतलब है आप solve कर रहे हो. अगर आपके पास doubts नहीं है ना, गड़बड़ वहां पे चालू होती है. So revisit your foundations with fresh eyes. Obviously, as we said, you need to always stay humble. And the last that we have is called Wabi-Sabi. So Wabi-Sabi is beauty in imperfection. It means not everything has to be perfect, but you have to have the eye. It's always said, right? The beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. So you have to know that even these little imperfect things of yours are actually perfect. So things don't have to be perfect, they just have to be real. And Japanese aesthetics embrace cracks, flaws, and changes. If you have ever seen these Japanese artifacts, even if they're broken, they're just going to bring it together. They're going to stick it together and still keep it because they embrace the flaws that come along. So if it has been a bad mock, you messed up a day, it's okay. Learn from the mistakes that you have done and bounce back with grace. Why? Because progress is always greater than perfection. So you are not expected to be perfect. You're not expected to score a 120 on 120. But what we do expect you is that you score better than what you did the last time. So basically, to sum it up, let's see what a samurai sign-off is going to be all about. You are not a robot. Humanize yourself. You are a human. You're a warrior. But even the warriors need rest, rhythm, and ramen. Maggie kha lena, right? So prep smart, stay calm, and remember, the most powerful version of you is the one that's focused, rested, and real. So don't disguise yourself into something you are not. Have realistic expectations from yourself, and one day you will be at the top of the ladder. So now implement your favorite Japanese hack and see how well does that work for you. That's going to be it. Thank you so much for being an audience. I'm sure you must have enjoyed and that you must have, had quite a few revelations as to where you are stuck and which technique is going to work for you. If you have already decided what's going to work for you, you know what to do. Just write it in the comment box so that I know that you're also following my lead here because I do these as and when it is required. Now it's your time to shine and you wouldn't really be able to unless and until you are also decluttered in the mind. If you like the video, you know what to do. Just hit the like button. Share it with other people who are also going through the same chaotic phase and that they need a refreshment to themselves. I will see you guys next time again with another video. But till then, it's not all about study. All work and no play always made Jack a dull boy. Remember that. So you have to make sure that it is a mixture. It is an equal measure of everything good. Thank you so much, everybody. Until next time.